some of our clients that she has definitely started walking along beside, because that's how we see it. We see it that we join them in this journey of aging and healthcare, because you might need us a little bit at the beginning and then we kind of just go back into the background for a little while, but we're always there if they need us.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with One Trust Home Loans and the Serving Senior Podcast, and you are in for a real treat today. We have two extra special ladies on, Donna Cella and Heather Johnson with Elder Care. They're going to share with you how they help seniors not just survive, not just get by, but thrive in retirement through their client care coordination. Along with helping the seniors, they're going to share with how they help the family cope with difficult retirement situations. Just two awesome people with hearts of service. Can't wait to let you hear what they do and how they work. Hey, Donna. Hey, Heather. How are you guys?
Thanks, Matt. Thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be here and
You're
get this
so
opportunity
welcome.
to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, you're so welcome. How about you, Heather? Are you excited as well?
Oh, yes. I'm thrilled to be
Okay.
here today.
Just checking on you. That's good. Well, thank you guys so much. I wanted to let you guys know I appreciate you. I enjoy seeing you out at the senior events, and you guys are always so passionate about what you do. So I definitely wanted you guys on here. So thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
maybe,
you.
yes, ma'am. Now, if you guys could maybe share if there's a individual out there, or maybe it's even a business that works with seniors, just a little background on what you guys did before, how you got into this, and what you guys do. You guys could both chime in on that. Would be great.
Okay, Heather, I'll start it off. So I
Okay.
am Donna Cella. Heather and I are both nurses by background, and this is really a kind of a passion job for both Heather and I. We're very passionate about helping families and seniors navigate not only just, as Matt, you said, successful living, but also the healthcare system, which can be incredibly challenging
Mhm.
to understand and to speak the lingo and to know how, what's the choices that are best. So Heather and I, like I said, are both very passionate about that. I've been a nurse forever, it seems like, with lots of different roles. I actually had a company like this about 20 years ago in Florida. I like to say I was coordinating care before it was cool, but it's just a part of who I am, and I'm excited to be able to kind of share what we do. So, Heather, I'll let you talk about your past.
Great. Thank you. So I'm a registered nurse and I've been a nurse forever also, but about 27 years in Nashville, Franklin area. I worked with the St. Thomas Health System. My background's ER, cardiology, chronic care management. And about my 24th year in with the large hospital system, I just felt God calling me to something else, and just kind of with open hands and just saying, Lord, just kind of lead me. And He did just set things in motion through friends, and I met Donna, and we both were just passionate about really helping seniors and helping families with their parents. I just would see so many issues at the hospital or in the outpatient setting. And then we're just sending these clients home, and you just have no idea what's going to happen at home. And then, a lot of times they're back because um, they're back in the hospital system again because, they were discharged inappropriately or without enough services and
Mhm.
support. And so we just really saw that need here. And with the extensive knowledge of just all the physicians and how things work here in Franklin and Nashville area, it was just nice to be so needed and welcomed into the senior industry. So we definitely thought care management is our gift. It's where people are, where we can use our gifts really and just help others. So that's how it started, and it took a few years to get it going. COVID happened.
Yeah.
but now we're serving our communities. And we're both also faith community nurses. So we really do have a passion for faith communities, churches, and church organizations as well.
Wow.
So,
Good for you guys. That's awesome. It definitely, you have to have a heart to be in this industry. I can tell you guys definitely love what you do and love helping people. So that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, Donna, maybe could you share a little bit about, this would be cool. You could share what you think Heather's superpowers are. And then Heather, you could share what Donna's are. And then also maybe go into what is maybe strategically, as far as a little bit more detail on what care management actually is.
Well, if
Sure.
I could break in.
Huh? What?
If I could start. No, you start, Donna. You start,
go
Donna.
ahead.
Okay, I was actually just gonna start with my own superpowers.
Sure.
Is that okay?
That's awesome.
Okay.
Do it. Donna, and then Donna can see if she agrees. We'll do it.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I want. Yes, I want to see if she agrees with me.
Okay.
I would say superpowers are problem solving. So thinking outside of the box. So I think that's one of my superpowers. And then I would have to say just a deep respect for other people, and just God's just given me a gift of like mercy and compassion, just trying to understand where people are at. You know, so I would say problem solving and that mercy, compassion.
That's great.
What do you think,
how do
Donna?
those go ahead, Donna? What do you
I would
think?
definitely say problem solving, but I would also say that she has a deep need for understanding and for getting information and figuring things out. So she has been fantastic at doing a lot of deep review of insurance policies and claims and helping families navigate things. There is no rock that Heather won't turn over to advocate for her clients and families. And I love that about her. She will go the extra mile for sure.
Wow. Good for you. That's awesome,
Thank
Heather.
you, Donna.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're welcome. So let's talk a little bit, just if we can, about what care management is, because I find this fascinating as we talk to people across the city and across Middle Tennessee, is that we throw these words out here, and oftentimes I don't think we really understand, or we all have our own definitions, but maybe what is the definition for elder care and for our care management strategy? And as I was thinking about talking about this, I really wanted to focus on that. I think the first thing we do is we listen. And we listen a lot to what matters most to our clients and families, because oftentimes we can just kind of throw information, but it's that really listening to understand what's important to them, where their values are, where their concerns are, and what matters most to them. So we start with listening, and then it's about doing an assessment. And that's just a conversation. It's trying again to dig a little deeper, to understand what's going on with them physically, what's going on with them in their home, what are the needs of the families. And we like to focus also on the caregivers, because oftentimes you might have a senior in the home, but we also focus on that person that's there, that's taking care of them, because oftentimes they are the ones that are struggling more just with the stress and the demands placed on them from their caregiving duties, and still trying to maintain, maybe a work-life balance, or trying to do the sandwich generation where they're still trying to manage their kids at home, and trying to deal with their aging parents. And so Heather has many, many stories of some of our clients that she has definitely started walking along beside, because that's how we see it. We see it that we join them in this journey of aging and healthcare, because you might need us a little bit at the beginning, and then we kind of just go back into the background for a little while, but we're always there if they need us. And what we're finding also is that oftentimes it's single children that call us, and they are trying to navigate things on their own. And Heather, I'll let you talk about several of the families that you've been helping that have only children that either live out of state and are trying to navigate this with their parents here, or even live here in town and are just exhausted and need a moment to have somebody else say, I can help you with that. So Heather, I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So some of our clients we meet in the hospital, and they've had a fall or a stroke and they need rehab. And then they go to rehab, and then they call their caregiver or their child, and they say it's time for them to be discharged home. And the kids are like, what? They can't go home like this. And I'm like, and they said, but yes, they can. And the insurance said they can. So they're going home. And so a lot of times I'm called in with, kind of semi-crisis, like my parents are going home and I have no idea what to do with them. And so I can just come along beside them, and we have networked through the community. So we know physicians that come to the home, and most people don't know that there's services out there where doctors and nurse practitioners can come into the home and provide services. And then, if we see that there's a need for home care, we initiate home care services. Again, we have certain companies that we've had a good relationship and have provided good care for other clients. So we're more likely to refer to certain companies because we have we know that they're going to take care of the clients. And then I just have others they have aging parents, late 80s. They don't really know anything about their medical care. So I'll go in and meet the family and then just go to assistant doctor's appointments, and also do, just get to know them, build a relationship. So when there is a crisis and I'm the first one that they see, they know me, they trust me. So I've had a few ladies from out of state who've hired me for their families here locally in Nashville. And it is so good to have someone who will go keep an eye on their parents, even in an assisted facility or even in a place that they know they're safe. But, any fall, any illness, it really can do a lot of damage when you're 88, And so just having someone with boots on the ground is what I call it. Someone there that's looking after, and looking at the best interests of their family member.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of thinking through, like, I guess on the male side, when you talk to maybe a son or etc., it in my mind goes to, you guys are the general contractors. If you talk about building a house, right? And you guys have vetted subs. You're like a hands-on general contractor that has a hammer, right? You do some of the work, but you vetted the subs. You have all the experience from the nursing background. You have the heart of a teacher and really worried about care, but you also have some great subcontractors that you guys can bring in and really take great care of people. So that's awesome. And then also, it sounds to me like with everybody being so busy, especially even if they're in town, who has time to go through multiple doctor's appointments? For you to have being able to take them to the doctor and not have that conversation where hey mom, what did they say at the doctor? Right. And the child's not there for you guys to translate. That's amazing. You guys do great things.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Oh, he said I was doing great. And you're like,
oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool. Maybe tell people maybe one or two like success stories, clients you could think of that were in certain situations? Maybe it had something to do with you guys going to the doctor with them, or maybe just going through, I think, Heather, you've mentioned in the past of going through people's documents and being able to find coverages that they didn't even know they had. Those, maybe could you share that with the audience?
Oh, sure. So I was called in on a family who was in crisis. And in fact, the mother of the family did pass. But after talking, I mean, really, she passed, and then we had to find the funeral arrangements and everything so I had to go through documents so very quickly. But after we started talking, he said he thought his mom and dad had a long-term care insurance policy. And I started looking into it, and this was December, and she had tried to initiate a claim in February. And with, she had been receiving home care for 9 months, and nothing had been followed through. And so there were some documents at the doctor's office that weren't filled out completely. So it really was detective work. But he did let me know that after 9 months, after I got involved, he did get $26,000 reimbursement, And
Wow.
so even though this wasn't necessarily what I came in for, I was just like, they are owed money. And that company did not do what they said they were going to do. And so just through persistence and just not taking no for an answer, and having to work with the doctor's office and the nurse and making sure the paperwork was filled out correctly. I mean, we found out it was just a checkbox that was not checked. And, the doctors and the nurses at these offices, they don't know what they're filling out, or actually the importance of what they're filling out.
Right.
And they're like, that's all it was. I just forgot to check the box. And I'm like, that's all it was, to get it moving forward. So that was a success story. And it wasn't even really medically related. He kind of called me on late notice as far as helping us navigate his mom's health care. But I was like, you've got to do this. And then his father's still living. And so the money was so helpful to their living situation. So that was one of my big success stories. And then I feel like all of mine are successful because I just get to meet incredible people and just see all the dynamics of families. And then they always ask me back, when are you coming back?
Oh.
It's even though, sometimes our service kind of wears down and they just don't need us as much. But I'm always invited back. Please come back. And that just makes me happy. Or they'll always say, I know I will need you. Just keep me in your contacts. So I just
cool.
I feel like you just become part of their family.
Mm-hmm.
When you can help them. And every situation is just a little bit different. And everyone just seems to need to they only get like one perspective, I feel like. And I feel like when you have a medical professional, you get more perspective. I mean, I'm also coming in, I can, as a sister, as a daughter, I have so many roles I've played that really can pour into these families' lives as well. So
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Donna, maybe you could fill us in as people are listening to this, and what would be the ideal referral source for you, I guess on the business side, but also too, as far as maybe another way of asking the question is, what type of professionals run into the type of people that you could help the most, that maybe that this should be forwarded to as people are listening to this?
That's a great question, Matt. And we get that a lot. And so obviously anyone within the medical field that are seeing these really complex patients, if you're in assisted living, we've gotten several of our clients because they're going back and forth to the hospital and the family gets exhausted and they don't know how to kind of stop that cycle. So some of the assisted living facilities with families um, and residents that are going back and forth to the hospital. We also work closely with some financial planners who are helping families create some estate planning and recognize that just like you need to plan for your finances and you should plan for your health and for aging. And we like very much to be able to get in before crisis. Sometimes we have to come in because there is a crisis. But if you know that, my parents are starting to age and I'd like to have some things in place so that when we know that the what ifs happen, what if my mom is my dad's caregiver and she gets sick, what are we going to do? What if, one of my parents passes away and, the other one can't live independently? Okay, we can already have those conversations, have a plan, and be ready for those what if situations.
Wow.
So we work with really the spectrum from assisted livings to financial planners to estate attorneys to private duty home care agencies that are in the home and recognize that there are things that need additional support and additional contractor to come in and kind of oversee things to kind of offload some of those things from their families.
That's
so it's really it's a wide spectrum, but that's a great
awesome.
question.
Well, guys, we could sit here and chat all day. I love hearing your stories and all the great things you guys are doing. Maybe before we go, if you could share real quickly where you guys service and how somebody would get in touch with you. And also, it sounds like you guys do free consultations where you can share what you guys do so they can learn more about you.
Right. We do serve Middle Tennessee. So, if you think about Williamson County and those surrounding contiguous counties, we do have a website. It's eldercare-inc.com.
Okay.
So you can find us on the web, and you can also call us at 615-601-8930. That's my cell phone. It comes directly to me. And we do a consultation, a free hour consultation to kind of describe our services and to help families and clients understand what our services are. So always happy to meet and just even brainstorm a little while.
That's great. Well, you guys are just doing awesome things out there. I really do appreciate you jumping on here. And please reach out to Heather and Donna if you need anything. They'll take great care of you. And thanks again for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of Retirement Mortgage Solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.